Okay, good morning. How's everybody doing? Great. Thank you for coming out. I'm Jay Melder. I'm the city manager. You want me to pick this up? Good morning. I'm Jay Melder. I'm the city manager of the City of Savannah. It's a beautiful day in Savannah, and we are getting closer and closer to our St. Patrick's Day festivities, which is always a really important and exciting time in the city of Savannah. But it's also a time where we think a lot about public safety. We think a lot about our law enforcement and our fire personnel and our EMS and the systems that we have in place to keep those festivities and our festivity goers safe at all times. This is the 201st running of the St. Patrick's Day parade, and this year it falls on a Monday, so we know that the festivities and the celebrations are going to start Friday night, and they're going to it's going to be ongoing throughout the weekend, culminating Monday, and of course Monday night into Tuesday morning. So we really wanted to talk first in our series of press conferences about our preparedness for St. Patrick's Day, and focus that on public safety, because that is the most important part of what we do at the city, is work to ensure the public safety of not only the parade, but of all of the festivities that happen in and around the St. Patrick's Day celebration. So let me just introduce some folks that are with us today. First and foremost, our 2nd District Alderman Dietrich Leggett, who's joined us, obviously the alderman of the area where a lot of the festivities take place, has been central to our planning and coalition building, and I want to thank the entire mayor and city council for their leadership. We have our police chief, Lindy Gunther, with us, and our assistant chief of police, Rob Gavin, as well as Sergeant Pagliaro. From Savannah Fire, we have our chief Elsie Kitchen, and our deputy chief, William Handy, who is here with us. We also have with us our chief of planning and economic development, Faye DeMassimo, our chief parking and mobility services, senior director for parking and mobility services, Sean Brandon, and Stephen Henry, who's our senior director over transportation. And together they really work together on the public safety aspects of the planning for St. Patrick's Day. I want to focus here by saying we're doing some things differently this year with the ever-evolving landscape of public safety, especially around big festivities and big public events. We have to stay as far ahead of that as we can, and so we're planning things differently with the creation of a major special events task force that was formed by my order over a month ago. It is co-chaired by Faye DeMassimo and Sergeant Jason Pagliaro, who is lead for special events for the Savannah Police Department. They set a big, broad table with all of our public safety partners, not only at the City of Savannah, but countywide, as well as our stakeholders with the parade committee and other events and aspects of the St. Patrick's Day celebration, and will do so for the other 40 some odd major special events that we host here in Savannah, to make sure that our public safety aspect of our planning, our permitting, our preparedness, and our execution is where it needs to be, and it's on point. So I want to start there with our task force co-chairs and welcome Chief Faye DeMassimo to come talk about some of the major timelines and what you can expect here as we enter into the St. Patrick's Day season.
Thank you, City Manager. Going to review the timeline. Beginning March 12th, we will begin posting no parking signs, and we'll be staging barricades along the route. Friday, March 14th, a lot of the parade infrastructure, things like the porta potties, the barricades, fencing, and so forth, will be deployed. You'll be able to view a map online that will be interactive. Saturday, March 15th, will be treated as an event day. Sunday, March 16th, the bleachers are staged, and marshals will be in the square along the route. On Monday, March 17th, the day of the parade, at midnight, the squares will be closed, and we will begin towing along the parade route. At 6 a.m., squares will be open for the land rush, and the parade staging area will close as parade units begin to arrive. At 9 a.m., the parade route will close to traffic. At 10:15, the parade starts. At 3:30, we expect the last parade unit will clear staging, probably before that, but at the latest. At 4 p.m., the squares will close for cleaning At 6 p.m. the squares will reopen to the public, and at 3 a.m. the bars will close. We want to remind everyone to respect the city, to respect the squares, to respect the streets, and to be patient and have fun. To find maps of the towing areas, the staging areas, information on parking and event restrictions, visit savannahga.gov, STPATS, St. Pat's. And I think it's also up here on one of our boards behind us. And with that, I will turn it over to Sergeant Pagliaro to continue our presentation.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm going to talk primarily about what we've done this year in excess of what we typically do, some of the enhanced measures we're doing. As always, we partner with a lot of state, federal, and local partners. This year we've reached out to both the FBI, the GBI, and GEMA's Homeland Security units to get threat assessments on the weekend and the parade route. As of today, there are no credible threats to our event that weekend. In addition to that, we met with GEMA and we walked the entire parade route, as well as River Street and City Market, identified areas of concern that we needed to improve our public safety at, and as such, we've added the following enhanced security measures. On all of the ramps down to River Street, as well as around City Market, there will be water barricades placed. Those will go in Friday evening and will remain up for the entirety of the event. They'll be torn down Tuesday morning at the end of operations. We will allow deliveries on River Street beginning at 4 a.m. and lasting until 10 a.m. daily, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But those water barricades will be in place for the entirety. In addition to that, there will be barricades around City Market. We will allow deliveries at City Market, but all days those roads will be closed, especially the roads through City Market itself. In addition to that, we will be placing water barricades and other infrastructure out at key intersections and on sidewalks around the parade route to ensure that vehicle-borne attacks such as we saw in New Orleans are not a concern during our parade. Additionally, EOD and other units will sweep the parade route for nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons, as well as explosive devices. We will have SWAT, GBI, and SPD bomb squads available for the entirety of the event to deal with anything that we see. As always, we ask if you're bringing your family down, especially your children, take pictures of your kids the day of the event. We want to know what they were wearing that day. It's a lot easier to give me a picture of who we're looking for if your child is and you get separated than it is to say, oh, he's a little boy wearing a green shirt, when everybody's wearing a green shirt that weekend. All of the road closures have been uploaded to Waze already, so it is in as a major event, and Waze will be updating live that day. The control zone and event ordinance zone are in effect on the weekend, as well as the expanded to-go cup zone will be effective on Monday only. Those have the same areas as last year and the year before. We're issuing no out-of-town motor coaches permits from Friday through Monday, and you will see several units from both our agency, the Chatham County Sheriff's Department, Georgia State Patrol, Georgia Department of Public Safety out and about on the roadways all weekend. So if you are driving, please don't drink, and if you're drinking, please don't drive. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Gunn.
Good morning. Just like our previous speakers have reiterated, we want to absolutely make sure that everyone has a safe St. Patrick's Day festival, but equally as important, I want to reassure our citizens and community as a whole that outside of the festival, all of our precincts will have appropriate staffing. We will be available to respond to calls, and just to make sure that our whole community is safe, not just downtown, not just the festival, but our whole community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. With that, Chief Kitchen to talk about our fire preparedness.
Good morning. So fire is prepared for this festival. We have our regular staff with our units. but we're going to stand up additional units in the festival area. 8 additional units, that includes our hazmat and our marine unit. And we will make sure that the city is safe, not only in the festival zone, but out throughout the whole city.
Thank you, Chief. So to wrap it up, before we get into questions, we know that public safety is the greatest service that we can provide every day, and especially on our major special events, which is the point of our task force. We're sharing a lot of information with the public about our public safety posture, not because we are expecting something bad to happen, but because we want you to know that we're prepared for all kinds of hazards. But mostly we're here to make sure that you can safely maneuver our streets and safely celebrate the St. Patrick's Day festivities with us here in downtown Savannah. Whether you live here, whether you're visiting, whether you're coming on Friday or coming on Monday or staying the whole time, we want you to know that the City of Savannah and certainly our partners at the Parade Committee, Mr. Lynch here, thanks for joining us, as well as all of our other law enforcement agencies from Chatham County to the Sheriff's Office to our state public safety agencies, to our state homeland security agencies who are engaged in partnership with us to make sure that we have a safe and successful and fun St. Patrick's Day. So we're going to hold a series of these press briefings as we normally do. Leading up to the St. Patrick's Day facilities, there's a lot of information that we're going to be sharing, but please know that you can get all of this information and more at www.savannahga.gov/St. Pat's. That's /St. Pat's to get all of the information on parking, on parade routes, on public safety, on how to enjoy the festivities safely. So just remember these kind of key themes, and we're going to be repeating them over the next several weeks. Be green and keep it clean. This is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, certainly the most beautiful city in the United States. We want to make sure that it's clean, and we need you to respect our beautiful downtown. If you pack it in, pack it out, it's just like a national park. In fact, we are a National Landmark Historic District, so treat it just like Yosemite. If you bring it in, bring it out with you. Come early and park responsibly. Have a plan of safety for you and your family, and celebrate safely, and be patient. There's going to be a lot of people downtown the entire weekend. There's going to be traffic congestion. There's going to be wait times. So be patient and have fun and be respectful of everybody there. And with that, we're geared up for St. Patrick's Day. We're ready to celebrate as the city always does, and we're open for any questions that you may have at this time. Thank you.
Mr. City Manager,
Yeah.
Can you go through what prompted you creating the task force, and what are some of the ways you've seen it make a difference in the planning this year?
Well, I think we've always had effective planning from the city point of view, especially as it comes from St. Patrick's Day. But more and more we see large events being hosted here, which take a broad array of partners and expertise to make sure that we're planning effectively. And certainly we've seen some threats and some events in other places and other events that have just really prompted us to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's when it comes to preparedness. It's an ever-evolving public safety landscape that we live in today, and so we want to make sure that we have a regular, robust, and diligent process around how we plan for events, not just so that they're successful and people have a fun time, but that they're safe. And we're thinking about safety first and primarily when we're hosting large events here in the City of Savannah.
Does having it on a Monday, does that make it more of a public safety operation, having it all weekend compared to having it on, like, what's the differences versus having it on the weekend and having it on Monday?
Well, I think, this is, we don't see a lot of dull weekends in Savannah anymore. And certainly the St. Patrick's Day celebration and leading up to that Monday parade, I think downtown's going to be full. Our hotel vacancy rates kind of, paint that picture. We know it's going to be a busy weekend, and we know that locals are going to come and join the festivities as well downtown. But we see big events and big weekends all the time, so we think we're well positioned to manage that celebration Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. It's really just being able to make sure that we've got the capacity and the endurance to make sure that we're fully staffed and we're fully capable for all 4 of those days, which is a big part of this this task force job, and we're there right now, and we're very thankful for especially our other law enforcement agency partners that have stepped it up this year in terms of helping support this operation. But we do expect that maybe, you know, in the 2 years past where we've had weekend parades, that maybe the parade itself and the festivities afterwards might be a little less than in years past, just because it's a Monday, it's a school day, it's a work day, which presents other challenges that we're working with our partners on. But we know it's going to be a busy, busy, busy weekend in Savannah that weekend.
Can you talk about the effectiveness of the water barriers, the decision to use them, and how much weight they can actually withstand if someone did try to ram them?
Yeah. I'm going to ask Sergeant Pagliaro to come talk about that. You know, we use a lot of tools in our toolbox. The water barricades are useful for us because they can be easily drained and moved, but their effectiveness at stopping traffic is similar to other barriers. So let me ask Sergeant Pagliaro to just kind of talk about that effectiveness, or Chief Gavin, or whoever wants to speak on that.
We're not going to go into the specifics of what type of barricades they are. They're standard water barricades. We chose them for several reasons. One is the ability to get them out of the way quickly if we need to. But the other reason that they're there is to slow someone down. They're not a fail-safe. Nothing is going to positively stop a vehicle. Even the multi-million-dollar systems you can put in roads, everything's got a failure point. It's there to slow things down. It's there to slow it down enough for us to be able to take some form of action. But it's not the only thing we're putting in place either. At each water barricade, there will be additional vehicles there and other things in place to keep cars from getting out into the parade route or down onto River Street or into City Market.
Thank you, Sergeant Pagliaro. And of course, traffic safety and pedestrian safety is, as you know, either we're stopping a driver who's not paying attention or a driver who's motivated by some other force. There's a number of tools and strategies that we're using to try to keep the parade and the 2 blocks out from it safe from any motor vehicle that for whatever reason wants to get into that area. Other questions?
Yeah. What's the city's public safety budget for St. Patrick's Day for the weekend and Monday? And because you're adding these new things, has it gone up significantly previous years?
Well, we can follow up specifically with you if you give some information on what our budget is for St. Patrick's Day. Of course, we employ a lot of overtime, and we use all of the resources we have. This is our biggest event of the year, so a lot of our capabilities are built up to kind of support. This is our largest event and kind of the high water mark for us for public safety. But this is included in the annual public safety budgets for the year. And it's a lot of personnel.
Is the city spending significantly more this year for added safety measures than it had, say, a year ago?
Well, we're spending more every year on public safety, and we can provide you with the numbers for any specifically new tools or strategies that we're using this year, and we can certainly provide those numbers to you.
Just to clarify, Mr. Sabian, you said it's a school day that day. Chatham County Schools just said they're out. So just
Oh, great.
clarify that.
Great, good, thank you.
So
It's not a school day.
It's not a school.
Okay, thank you for that.
I'm asking you to clarify.
Well, I'll take your word for it. The last I had heard it was a school day, so sorry for misspeaking. No school. Sorry for Thank you. Sorry for misspeaking. Okay, great. When's our next one, Joshua?
March 12th.
March 12th. Thank you so much. All right, see you there.